My next guest is another guy who's doing really, really good things in the hockey community and in his neck of the woods in Hartford, Connecticut. And I actually have some personal connection to this particular organization because believe it or not, I was a chaplain for 9 seasons in Albany, New York, for both the Albany River Rats and the Albany Devils. And after they relocated to Binghamton, I unfortunately disconnected from the organization, but I still keep in touch with some of the guys from there. And one of the guys I'm going to bring in is the Northeast coordinator for Hockey Ministries International, my good friend Rick Mitera.
Hey Ryan, how you doing today? Thanks.
Good. How are you doing, Rick? Thanks for being on No Credits Required. Really appreciate it.
Oh, no problem at all. Long time we haven't seen each other, but still appreciate your friendship and so glad to reconnect. That'd be just really great.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're talking about guys. We're talking about people who do good things for the hockey world, and Hockey Ministries is something I'm connected with, and yeah, it's good to talk to somebody from Hockey Ministries again. You were my coordinator for such a long time. I figured get you on here and talk about what Hockey Ministries does. So, for those who are unfamiliar with Hockey Ministries, give us an idea of what Hockey Ministries is.
Well, Hockey Ministries has been around since 1976. A long time. That's when I graduated high school, believe it or not. So
I was born the next year.
So I just gave out my age. Okay.
Me too.
But that's okay. I'm okay with that. Yeah, we've been around for a while, servicing the hockey community with chapel programs. And if you're not familiar with a chapel program, basically it's just like a Bible study with players. We try to get the players away from that game of hockey, get to see the real picture of life, and explore things that maybe never thought of, the relationship with God, and how important God can play in your life. And we're just there to meet the hockey world right where they're at. Even if the players do not attend chapel, which is all on a voluntary basis, we are just there to minister to the guys. These players have come up from a long way and they're away from their home, and maybe it's the family's not around. They don't have a girlfriend or a wife hanging around with them and staying with them, and they're a long way, and being with a bunch of different guys that maybe they're not used to. So they can run into situations, things happen in life, and we're just there to meet the hockey player right where they're at. And that's one part of the ministry. The other part of the ministry is our Christian athletic hockey camps that we do across North America and Europe. We do those every summer. Last year being with the COVID year, kind of threw us off a little bit. We got to try to regroup this year. But we have kids, and many of them are from ages like 9 to 16 years old, coming to our hockey camps. And we have been doing that for like 43 years, hockey camps, which across North America. And some of our camps we get over like maybe 100 to 125 campers coming out to a camp for a week, where a pro player will come in and speak to the players, speak to the campers, give their testimony, how God has really worked in their lives. And we have chapel every night. We have a couple huddles, we call them, where we do a booklet, and it's been amazing ministry where the word of God really reaches these young hockey players.
Awesome. Now, how many leagues is Hockey Ministries involved in?
Oh, I think we're in over 200 leagues
Wow.
across North America and Europe. And some people are saying, "Well, all I know is the NHL and the AHL," but there are so many leagues, until you really start looking at how many leagues there are in the United States, all the way down from the NHL, AHL, East Coast League, and Southern Professional Hockey League. It keeps going, and so we minister to all those different leagues across North America.
Awesome. Now, take us through a typical chapel. What goes into a chapel? How do you prepare for a chapel? How do you get in touch with the players? Are the teams okay with it? What goes into a chapel?
Well, like I said, we've been around since 1976, and so majority of the players, coaches, GMs have heard about Hockey Ministries. So it's not like a secret that we're hiding from these players. Our AHL has been so great to us, the American Hockey League, getting letters out to coaches and GMs saying we're going to come. We have a qualified chaplain on all 31 AHL teams, and soon to be 32 next season.
Mm-hmm.
And we have like I said, a qualified chaplain there ready to minister to these players. A basic chapel is if you ever been to a basic Bible study, and we just try to bring them the Word of God. We don't know where a lot of these players are coming from. Some are very strong Christians. Some players have never even went to church before, or never even opened the Bible.
Hmm.
And we just try to be very basic with them, and hopefully the relationship will grow during the season where we can meet them, even get them further in their faith. So that's our main goal, is to get these guys to see that there is more to life than just playing hockey, which they're probably told that their whole lives, that it's only hockey, but there's more to life than just playing hockey. And once hockey is done, life goes on and you're back in the world. And the transition sometimes can be really tough for players.
Hmm.
In the past, like 4 or 5 years, I've really worked with a lot of players transitioning right out of hockey into the world. And that can be difficult. When you think
Yep.
of playing every day, being with a bunch of guys, just playing a game, and all of a sudden, wow, the world is, life's hitting me now. So I got to really, I have to grow up and not be a
Hmm.
kid anymore, and learn how to support my family.
Now, are some of these chaplains ordained ministers? Are a lot of them ordained? I know for myself, when I served, I was not an ordained minister. I had ministry experience, but nothing with ordained. Do they have a lot of ordained ministers and like licensed counselors serving as chaplains? I mean, what kind of people serve as chaplains? Do
Uh,
they have to be ordained, or they can just be regular guys off the street who know a lot of things about ministry, or
well,
hockey players?
basically, we go to a church and try to get a leader in the church. Okay, if you've led a
Mm.
Bible study, that's a really great thing. That's a great start. Most of our volunteer chaplains do work in the church, where they've already have done ministry work, and they know the ins and outs of meeting people, reaching the lost. And like I said, a lot of our chaplains are volunteers, so they take their own time out of their day. Flexibility's got to be a key.
Yeah.
You can get to the rink, and all of a sudden the coach says, "Oh, we're doing an extra workout, or we're doing video," and you're sitting around for an hour or so waiting for the players to get changed and start your chapel program. I'm sure you've experienced that before yourself.
Hmm. Yep.
Um, so it takes a lot to be a volunteer chaplain, and the rewards on this in this life are few, but the rewards in heaven are even greater once we get there, over the time we spend in ministering to these players. But it's all great. I've been in the ministry for 24 years, and
Wow.
it's been a great experience, and the relationships that are still going on today that I've made, like maybe in my first couple years of ministry work. So um, like I said, getting back to your question, most of our chaplains are volunteers, and
Mhm.
they don't have to be ordained ministers. They could be deacons, they could be leaders in the church, or just lead a Bible study, um, and that'd be a good qualification.
Now, have there been situations where a chaplain has had to fill in sort of as a crisis counselor? I know for myself, in 2009, I had to deal with a situation with the bus crash for the Albany River. Coming back from, I believe it was Lowell, Massachusetts, and
Yeah,
their bus crashed on I-90. I know I talked to a Canadian talk show host last week, Rod Peterson. He mentioned that Hockey Ministries was there during the really, really tragic Humboldt crash in Saskatchewan from a few years ago. So, I mean, are there just situations where they have to kind of jump in a crisis situation?
well, as the Boy Scout motto goes, always be prepared.
Mm.
I've carried that with me since my Eagle Scout days. So I try to relay that to all our chaplains, that we never know when that phone call is going to come. As you just said, you got that phone call, and in the middle of the night, the bus coming home at night on I-90, and sliding on its side off the highway. So we just never know. And like, Hockey Ministries is there for the hockey team, hockey players, and hockey management, hockey fans. We're there for whatever we need. And most of our chaplains have had experience dealing with some kind of death in the family, some kind of tragedy that maybe happened with a player. And it's all life stuff, which a lot of these players probably have never experienced before, or never came face to face with it, but now they have to. So we try to prepare the player for things that are going to happen after hockey and during hockey, because you know hockey's great. I love hockey, but it's a part of life, and it does leave you some good lessons. But there's more to life than just hockey. And that's what we
Mhm.
try to get them away from the rink and learn these things.
Now, last year with the pandemic going on, I'm certain that there were some obstacles with trying to get chapels going, or if there currently is obstacles trying to get chapels going. What do you think is the biggest obstacle to get chapels going again in the if they're going on? Period.
Um,
Depending on the league.
Yeah, a lot of the chapels are going on right now with Zoom. That's the best way we can reach these players. A lot of teams, I know every team in the American League, you have to be on a list to get into the building or even connect with the players.
Hmm.
And so if we're not on that list, and there's very few people that are, and they have to get tested quite often. I think the players get tested like every other day or every day they get
Oh
tested,
wow.
and so they're kind of locked down also, so they don't want them to be exposed to anything. And most of our chaplains will not go into a locker room situation during these days because of the COVID, because God forbid either one of our chaplains got sick or one of our chaplains gave COVID to somebody on a team and it spreads throughout the team.
Hmm.
We don't want to face that situation, and I don't think anybody does. So we kind of play on the safe side and just be careful what we're doing, and
Hmm.
try to reach the players the best we can. And that's the hardest thing is if we're not reaching the players face to face, especially the younger players coming in from juniors or college. It's really, really hard. So most of the teams have a player or two on the team that's been through chapel and is a strong leader. So with that said, that those are the guys we rely on to get the players motivated to come out the chapel, to get on the Zoom call. And now I think the players have a little more time on their hands too. Now
Yeah.
that they can't like go to the movies or go hang out somewhere and go out to dinner as much as they'd like to, players do have a little more time within, especially this shortened schedule uh, for a lot of teams, that they do have a little more time at nighttime, especially. They might spend more time at the rink because they have the more time to spend at the rink, but I
Hmm.
think their night times are kind of looking for something to do. And so hopefully with our chapel program, where we'll jump on the Zoom calls and we can get some more players to come out.
Cool. Cool. So let's go back to let's talk about camps real quick. Most of these camps are held during the summer. You said that they're all over North America and also in Europe.
Yes.
So do you know about any players who have gone to these camps, who have gone to say the AHL or the next or the NHL even?
Oh, yeah. There's quite a few players, especially from the college ranks, that come out to our camps. Um, I don't know like names like right offhand, but there was a handful of college kids that will come out to our camps. They I think the college kids are and even the pros in the AHL or NHL or East Coast League teams. They look at they say like, wow, I remember this player, this person, or this dad or this coach really invested into me, and look where I am today. And I think
Mhm.
they remember that, and they say like, you know what, we try to encourage them, like, you guys, you can have an investment in these players and these young hockey players' lives, and even if they don't make the NHL or AHL or professional ranks, the investment you could put into these young hockey players' lives will make a huge difference to show them that, yeah, you can still play the game at a high level or a low level if you like, and still learn to love God. That I think is the biggest thing. And these players that come out to camp, the professionals to work with the younger players, they lay it all on the line. They could tell them that they've gone through stuff, and we relate a lot of maybe some kids coming from broken home, and a lot of players come from broken homes too. That
Mhm.
maybe this one camper will say like, I can't do this. My mom and dad aren't together, and that's when say a player would be at camp and jump in there and say, hey, I went through the same situation that you've gone through or going through right now, and let's talk. And so I think when the players do come out to camp, it really it ministers to them, the player, and it ministers to the camper also. And I've had some players that come out to camp and they're coming to camp thinking like, wow, I'm gonna really give these young campers, some God stuff here. And then
Mhm.
they're there for a couple of days and they leave and they go, wow, that really changed my life. Those kids affected me with their stories and the way they uh, talked about how God was working in their lives, and it really affected me, I think, more than I affected them.
Nice, nice. Yeah. Yeah, I know a lot of professional athletes, football players, baseball players. A lot of those guys are a lot of them are very open about their faith.
Yeah.
Do you think we're going to see some players, NHL, AHL, professional players, period, are going to be a little bit more open about their faith in the hockey world? Are we starting to see that
I hope
nowadays?
I hope so.
Okay.
um, I've seen have seen players opening up a little bit more in the past, 10 years or so, um,
Hmm.
being a little more bold with their faith. And you got to think about, like, these younger guys come into a room with hockey veterans that have been there for 5 or 10 years, and it could be a lot of pressure on a young player to open up with their faith unless they've really been brought up in a Christian home, and really have their strong faith. Somebody's just exploring their faith. It
Hmm.
might be a little more difficult for them to really speak up in a room, but the majority of older players, when they get towards the end of the career, they're like, I'm going for this now. I'm going to tell everyone about my faith and how I feel. Um,
Hmm.
when wow, I wish you did that, like, 10 years ago. But a lot of guys do speak up in the room, and I think with hockey players, I think it's just their character and the way they handle themselves that will speak more volume than them saying, "Hey, you got to come to chapel, or you got to read your Bible, or you got to pray more." I
Hmm.
think their lifestyle will speak more volume than their voice will. So, and I talked to Russ before, and they're saying, they would ask me, "Hey, does this kid have any faith?" And I says, "Yeah. How do you know?" He goes, "I can just tell the way they handle themselves on the ice. Doesn't fight over a call. Just
Hmm.
accept his penalty and serves his time and gets on going." And coaches too. Coaches have said, I think I can name the players that come out of the chapel, and without even telling me, just the way they handle themselves in the room and on the ice. So, the character speaks volumes in the hockey world, instead of their voices, I think.
Yeah. 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 But yeah, I definitely agree with that. Yeah, and just dealing with my experiences in chapel,
Yeah.
being and telling people I was a chaplain for the Albany Devils really kind of opened some doors.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
sure whoever's in Binghamton right now or New Jersey say I'm the chaplain for the Devils.
That's
Really?
that's a tough one to say. Yeah, I know for sure it is. Yep. Yep.
I think people are they're kind of they were kind of humored about it, and
Yeah.
but like I said, it just opens some conversations, over some doors, just opens some doors, you know.
Oh yeah. Oh, it sure does. It sure does, and give you some different looks too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
All right, Rick. So thank you for your time. If people want to find out more about Hockey Ministries, can you give them a website? Can you give them the social media accounts?
Sure.
What do you got?
We're on Twitter and Facebook, and just and our website, hockeyministries.org. You can go on that website. It tells you all about our chapel program. It gives you a whole bunch of stuff on our camps, some player testimonies on there, and it'll give you a whole bunch of information what we're about. And we're, like I said, we're across North America. We have camps in Europe. We have chaplains in Europe, and it's a ministry that has gone on for quite a while. And like I said before, I've been on staff for 24 years, and it's been a blessing to be on. And the relationships I've made, you can't even, like, they're unbelievable. So, yeah, it's a great time.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks for being on with me, Rick. I appreciate it. Best wishes and prayers to your ministry, especially during this time of COVID. Hopefully, you'll get to connect with some players, both with your setting in Hartford and throughout the entire American Hockey League, also National Hockey League too. So,
Yeah,
I'm hoping that we can make a difference in the hockey world and keep going, keep
I really,
going.
I really appreciate it, Brian, and I really appreciate the encouragement, because we do need encouragement, and we are going to keep on going. And thanks for reconnecting and reaching out to me. I really appreciate it. And it's great,
Absolutely,
great podcast.
absolutely. Thanks very much.